Professor Dr. Haji Anwar Haji Ahmad, President and Vice Chancellor of University Selangor UNICEL, Dr. Hyun Suk Ri, Director of United Nations Asian and Pacific Training Center for Information and Communication, Technology for Development, International, yang berbahagia Dr. Abdul Qadir Jasin, Chairman of Asian Institute for Development Communication, EDCOM, Mr. Khairul Bashar, Executive Director of EDCOM, Professor Dr. Azmuddin Ben Ibrahim, Dean of Faculty of Communication and Media, University Selangor UNICEL, distinguished guests, and delegates from, I was told, they're from 23 countries all over the world. On behalf of my colleagues, the State Ministers of Selangor and our Right Honorable Chief Minister, I would like to welcome all of you here today in the state of Selangor. And for some of you, might be the first time to be in Selangor, which is one of 14 countries of Malaysia. We, the Selangor State Government, are very pleased to welcome you to be our guest in the state of Selangor. And it gives me a great pleasure to be here this morning to officiate today's event. And I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this wonderful and prestigious international occasion. As the chair for education, higher education and human capital development for Selangor State Government, I'm actually very thrilled that Cornell University, EDCOM, UN APC ICT have managed to be in the radar of UNICEL. This is MS370 terminology, I suppose, whereby it is a prime time for us to collaborate strategically to use the modern technology of ICT to get our message to the rest of the community. And just now, Dr. Qadir Jasin from EDCOM just mentioned that his daughter managed to share the pictures of the food that she was about to share with her mother-in-law, and I suppose in Australia. And you know, it gets very close, and it's a very well united, you know, kind of family ties that we can listen and appreciate. My children also from also studying in Australia and worked there, and there's one from UK, and there was a few in Cairo, and we had this time whereby we can share these pictures, and within a few minutes we can feel that we are so close, even though we are from all over the continents, you know, from the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, and here in Malaysia. So I think that is just a family occasion. And if you're talking about what Dr. Colley was saying, Royal Colley was saying, that it should be used as something very beneficial to develop the world itself, the states, the countries, and the communities, whether they are in the rural areas or whether in the more developed urban areas. I think this is about time that we fully utilize or maximize or optimize the use of modern technology like ICTD for our maximum use of the human being. As Malaysia moves towards developed nation status, we must remind ourselves that we should not just look at economic growth, but concentrate also on social development, Closely related to this is the fact that information and communication technologies, ICT, and their rapid diffusion across all sectors of society have had a profound effect on the growth of the global economic and social development as a whole. But more importantly, they have provided new strategies and opportunities to ensure inclusive, equitable, and sustainable socio-economic growth and development. Recognizing that ICT is not only about technology, the World Summit on the Information Society, WSIS Declaration of Principles, states each person should have the opportunity to acquire the necessary skills and knowledge in order to understand, participate actively in, and benefit fully from the information society and the knowledge economy. The need to build human capacities in information and communication technologies for the developing countries further calls for international and regional cooperation in the field of capacity building, with an emphasis on creating a critical mass of qualified and skilled ICT professionals and experts. In any sustainable capacity building initiative, engaging youth is essential. Just to share with you, in Selangor, 40% of our population, Malaysia has got 28 million population roundabout now, and Selangor contributes to 5.78 million of that 28 million population, and 40% of the Selangor population are the youth. So as the youth of today go on to assume the roles of government leaders and key decision makers in the public and private sectors, their ability to recognize the linkage between ICT and development goals will be crucial. Recognizing this need to prepare and sensitize youth on ICT's contributions to socio-economic development, APCICT developed its program, Turning Today's Youth into Tomorrow's Leaders. Institutions of higher education use various approaches known as service learning, engaged learning, volunteerism, internship, etc., to extend students' learning through community development. However, there is minimal evidence of these practices being used either within ICTD curriculum or to introduce ICT-based activities in more general community development service. Maybe I would like to share with you whereby the Selangor state government has introduced this concept, whereby we would like to encourage our university students, college and university students, to not only just concentrate in the classrooms, in the lecture halls, or in the labs, whereby the Right Honorable Chief Minister of Selangor made an announcement. Maybe we're using a little bit of an old technology, but what he said was, every inch of the Selangor surface is a campus, which means every part, it's not just the halls, it's not just the lecture halls, it's not just within the campus that our college university students can learn, but it's everywhere, in the shops, along the rivers, at the seashores, anywhere, everywhere is a learning place for our students. And we have many community programs involving university students who are engaged in the community, especially in the rural areas, whereby they become adopted children, helping the disabled children, the orphans, and helping the community in their activities, including teaching English to the children, and maybe a little bit of maths tuition and things like that, but not yet on ICT as such. And in Selangor, we did introduce, we have 11, what do you call it, Pusat Cyber Rakyat, or this is the Malay term, or People's Cyber Centers, whereby we put free Wi-Fi in our public libraries. But right now we have got only 11 out of the 96 public libraries all over the state of Selangor. So that is a start for us, trying to use ICT as best as we can, maximize all the asset-based communities, public amenities that we have all over Selangor. So to support the above-mentioned initiatives to enhance ICTD learning outcomes through community experience, ICT, the Asian Institute for Development Communication, ADCOM, University of Selangor, UNICEL, and Cornell University, USA, are co-organizing the International Conference on Engaged Learning and the ICTD in the university curriculum from June 3rd to the 5th, 2014 in Selangor, Malaysia. This 3-day event will discuss the concept and values of engaged learning in field experience and suggest practical tools and methodologies to manage engaged learning approaches in a more systematic manner. I have been made to understand that the objectives of this conference are, first, to give greater visibility to the importance of introducing information and communication technologies for development into the university curriculum. Second, to promote the approach of having engaged learning tied into the ICTD curriculum. Third, to explore strategies for incorporating these innovations into university culture and curriculum. The Selangor State Government supports any research, conference, seminars, and projects which help to improve the quality of ICT in the state. This will make Selangor a state with community of ICT literates. ICTs greatly facilitate the progress of acquisition and absorption of knowledge, providing unprecedented opportunities to enhance educational systems, improve policy formulation, and widen the range of opportunities for business and the poor. We do not want people to be left out and feel the sense of isolation. So we in Selangor would like open access to knowledge in ways unimaginable before this. However, the reality of the digital divide, the gap between those who have access to and control of technology and those who do not, means that the integration of ICTs at different levels and in various types of education, especially the lifelong learning, will be a very important undertaking. Failure to meet the challenge would mean a further widening of the knowledge gap and deepening of existing economic and social inequalities. I hope this seminar will open discussion among the intelligentsia on the best curriculum that can be applied, especially on the engaged learning, which could improve the lives of the community in the state of Selangor and the world at large. Before I conclude, I once again would like to congratulate and thank the organizers, the Faculty of Communication and Media, UNICEL, and ADCOM for organizing this conference. I would also like to thank the collaborative members comprising Cornell University and the UN APC ICT. I would also like to convey my appreciation to the State of Selangor for being the major sponsor of this event. And I wish the participants a very fruitful and productive conference or workshop. And with that, I declare the International Conference Workshop on Engaged Learning and ICTD in the University Curriculum open. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you very much.